Hey, I'm Ray. Welcome to my kitchen. Today you are in for a treat because we are making something sweet and delicious, and that is a healthy peach cobbler. This is so simple. You are going to love how quick and easy this goes together. Let's just dive right in, and as we go, we'll talk about the value of all these ingredients. First of all, I want to let you know I am starting out with frozen peaches, and these are organic peaches, and I buy this brand. You can get it at Safeway, you can get it at Albertsons. I'm not greasing either one of these dishes, and I'm actually making a double batch. So the recipe that you're going to find on my website via the link at the bottom of this video is going to be half recipe, which is essentially this. And it's going to be a little bit fuller than usual because I'm kind of dividing it between the two because I'm giving this one to a friend. So I am just pouring the peaches in, and we are putting in 8 cups. So again, this is a double recipe. Normally we wouldn't be putting in 8 cups, we would be putting in 4 cups. So anyway, I just want to be clear so you know what we're doing here. Okay, and that is the base for this. Let's talk about the value of the peaches. So peaches are a stone fruit. Peaches are a great source of vitamins A, E, C, K. Potassium is in them. They are antioxidant. They are high fiber, great for skin health. The nutrition in these will actually contribute to collagen production, which is great for your skin, great for your immune system. There is a lot of beta carotene, which is great for your eye health. It also is said that peaches help reduce a histamine release in your body, so they might actually be good for allergies. So if you have allergies, maybe try eating some peaches and see if that helps. So that is our base here, the peaches. I am also going to add a little bit of water because I'm not adding any oil to this recipe. It doesn't need it. But I do want a little bit of moisture in the bottom of the pan so that the peaches don't get dry and hard. So I just have half a cup of water here, and I'm just putting a little bit in the bottom of each pan. Now, the next thing is we're going to put some cinnamon. There are different kinds of cinnamon. I'm not going to go into the whole story here, but Ceylon cinnamon is a cinnamon that is non-toxic. This one is not going to be spicy as much as the Vietnamese or some of the other cinnamons. The recipe will call for a teaspoon. I kind of just eyeball it. I just sprinkle it over the top until it's kind of covered in the cinnamon. And you can use the other cinnamon if you don't eat a lot of cinnamon. I just think the Ceylon cinnamon is a better overall choice for your body. So that's why I use that one. And that's it. That's the base of this recipe. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start making the next layer. And that is going to be the biscuit crust that's going to go on top of this. Okay, so what we have in the bowl as the basis for the biscuits is almond flour. And so I wanted to show you, I buy my almond flour in bulk. And so this is how it comes. I buy it from natural grocers, and I just keep it in the refrigerator. It lasts months in the refrigerator. I like the almond flour as opposed to an almond meal because it is a little bit lighter. So essentially this is just ground almonds, but it's almonds that have had the skin removed. If you buy an almond meal, the meal is different in that it has the skin on. And so it's a little bit heavier, and I like this for this recipe because it's a little bit lighter. I choose an almond flour as opposed to an almond meal for this particular recipe, okay? And then next we are going to put half a cup of date sugar. So again, you'll see the recipe on my website. I'll provide the link for you in the show notes below. So I want to show you the date sugar. I've got 2 different brands here. I just finished this one. It's called Glory Bee, and this is a date sugar. This is very coarse date sugar. And then my new date sugar that I just bought to replace what I finished here is this one, Royal Palm Organic Date Sugar. Now this one is a little bit more fine. So I've got kind of a combination of a coarse and a fine. It doesn't matter. And the ingredients in those date sugars are dried dates. That's it. Nothing else added to that. It essentially is a ground dried date. Next, we are going to do what is called a flax egg. So I am not using eggs in this dish. You could use an egg at this point, but I am doing a flax egg instead. And what that is it is 1 tablespoon of flax seed and 1 tablespoon of water. And you just mix that up, and that will make your binder. And the binder is essentially what the egg does. It binds everything together. It kind of holds the biscuit together. And it's just equal parts of flaxseed and water. Okay? So we've got that, and I'm going to make that and let it sit aside while we put the rest of the dry ingredients in. And so now we're putting in a little bit of baking powder, and we'll mix that up. Okay, and then we're going to add the wet ingredients and then one last dry ingredient. Oh, let me do a pinch of salt. So we'll do, actually I'm going to do 2 pinches of salt since I'm doing a double recipe here. Okay, and we'll give that a quick stir. And now for the wet ingredients. Okay, so let's get our flaxseed in here first. And again, it's just going to hold everything together for us. And we'll get that stirred in. Okay, and then we're going to add 2 tablespoons, or if you're doing the single recipe, 1 tablespoon of clarified butter. And I like using the clarified butter in this recipe as opposed to, say, a coconut oil or any other kind of oil, because it has a different flavor and it kind of makes the biscuit, I have to say. Now, I don't usually use a lot of butter. It is an animal product. It is essentially clarified butter. It's called ghee. And I just like the flavor of that in this particular recipe. Certainly, if you're not doing dairy, you could use a coconut oil or even an avocado oil. But I like the ghee the best. Okay. And then next we're going to add milk. Now this milk is a plant-based milk. This happens to be a Elmhurst almond milk. This is one of my favorite brands of almond milk because its only 2 ingredients are almonds and water, actually 3 ingredients, and sea salt. So I do like this brand. And so now we're going to just get this into a good dough. So it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease to get this into the consistency that I want. But it's going to be like a biscuit consistency, not like a cake mix, right? It's not going to be runny. It's going to be sturdy. And I think I've shared this tip with you guys before in some of my other recipes, but usually when I'm doing like a butter, like an almond butter or a cashew butter, I'll use the back of the spoon to kind of push the dry ingredients into the butter. The same thing would apply to this particular recipe where we're just trying to get it into a dough. And so sometimes using the back of the spoon is more effective than just spooning it around in circles. And that is a great consistency. Can you see that? And then the final ingredient we're adding is pecans. And these are just chopped pecans. And we'll do the same thing. We'll use the back of the spoon and we'll just push those pecans into the rest of the dough. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our dough and we're just going to roughly plop it on top of the peaches. So this is intended to be kind of rustic. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to cover all the peaches, but we do want it covering a good amount of the peaches. It's literally just spooning it in and, roughly spreading it around in drops. Okay, and now that we've got this ready, I'm just gonna kind of press it together a little bit. So again, it's not covering all the peaches. It's very rough. And it doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, I like it better when it's not. This is ready to go into the oven. We're going to check it at the 30-minute mark, and if it's starting to look brown on top, we're going to cover it with aluminum foil so that the peaches will continue cooking, but the tops will refrain from getting more browned, okay? So let's pop these in the oven, and then we'll be back for a taste. We have our beautiful peach cobbler out of the oven, and look how nice that turned out. Isn't that yummy? So again, I'll put the recipe and all the instructions in a link down below. You can hop over to my website and get all the ingredients and all the proportions. So it's still hot here, so I'm just going to get a little scoop out so we can have a taste of this. And it looks good. Delicious. The peaches are really good. They're sweet. And they're nice. You never really know what you're going to get when you get a frozen peach, but these are actually very good. The biscuit has a little sweetness to it. It is not over the top sweet, just enough, and it's really good. I hope you're going to try this recipe, folks. It's so easy and it's so good. You could serve this for company or you could just save it for yourself.